Marvel Studios' Black Panther has proven to be a roaring success, both critically and commercially, since its release in February of this year. It's exceeding expectations emphatically, and there's even talk of the studio campaigning for it to win the Oscar for Best Picture next year. But could it be made even better? Well, if any of these theories turn out to be true, there could be even more awesomeness to Black Panther than meets the eye. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It's the best way of keeping up to date on all of Screen Rant's great new videos.
I'm just a guy looking for a needle in the world's biggest haystack.
How do you find it?
Pretty simple. You bring a magnet.
The Soul Stone is in Wakanda. One of the most surprising things, for some people at least, when watching the awesome Black Panther movie was that the Soul Stone didn't show up in Wakanda. Many comic book movie fans had theorized that the last Infinity Stone must be there, given that Black Panther was the last movie before Avengers Infinity War was released. And given that we can clearly see Thanos' forces attacking the fictional African nation in the Infinity War trailers, but it simply didn't show up. However, in spite of that, and in spite of what might have been said by some of Marvel's bigwigs, there is a theory that suggests the Soul Stone is indeed in T'Challa's home country. Perhaps it's buried beneath the rich vibranium reserves or underneath where the heart-shaped herb was growing. And maybe it's the reason Wakandans are able to communicate with their deceased ancestors. There's every chance a different Infinity Stone could be kept in Wakanda for safekeeping, such as the Mind Stone in Vision's forehead, for example.
What, the gem?
It's the Mind Stone. It's one of the 6 Infinity Stones, the greatest power in the universe, unparalleled in its destructive capabilities.
And that's why Thanos is specifically targeting Wakanda. But there's still every chance that the final stone, the only one yet to appear in the MCU, is there as well.
I can see you.
Ulysses' Claw isn't dead. After originally receiving criticism for a slew of poor villains, Whiplash, the Mandarin, and Malekith were looking at you in particular.
Look at me.
Marvel Studios are starting to get them right. In fact, Black Panther had 2 top-quality bad guys in the form of Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger and Andy Serkis's Ulysses' Claw.
What do you know about Wakanda?
Both of whom died in the movie. However, given the nature of Claw in the comics, there is a chance that he hasn't actually died, and some fans are theorizing that he could return in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the future. The reason for that is because, in the comics, Claw created a device that turned him into a being composed entirely of sound. The theory suggests that just before he died in the MCU, Claw could have activated a device that did exactly that, converting his life essence into psionically solidified sound. It all sounds a bit ridiculous by the MCU standards, even though the franchise now includes talking raccoons and walking trees.
Quit smiling, you idiot. You're supposed to be a professional.
But it certainly shouldn't be ruled out. However, having Serkis's character come back in a new form in the next phase of the MCU is certainly something fans of the franchise would welcome.
Wait! Which side of the road is it?
For boss sake, just drive.
Okay, calm down.
Shuri is a future Black Panther. From start to finish, Black Panther was absolutely brimming with positives. The cast, the main characters, the villains, an intriguing plot, and fantastic action scenes, for example. But arguably the best thing about the movie was Letitia Wright's Shuri. Shuri was a bona fide genius, a charismatic and funny individual, and, when it came down to it, an absolute bona fide badass. And fans can't wait to see more of her in the Marvel Cinematic Universe's future. With that in mind, some fans are theorizing that she will eventually become the MCU's new Black Panther. Chadwick Boseman is 40 years old, while Letitia Wright is only 24. Once Boseman is too old to star as the agile superhero, Wright could very easily take over.
Say what?
In the comics, when T'Challa was recovering from some critical injuries he had sustained in battle, Shuri was tested and found to be suitable to take on the role of the Black Panther and the ruler of Wakanda. Given the awesome tech she provides to T'Challa while he's the Black Panther, it's a mouth-watering prospect imagining how cool her own Black Panther gear would be. One thing's for sure, fans would absolutely go crazy for a Black Panther movie with Shuri in the titular role, but it won't be for a few years yet.
The key to the future is where?
Shuri helps to design Iron Man's new armor. Speaking of Shuri, there are many fans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe who believe that she will be largely responsible for the creation of Tony Stark's new Iron Man armor.
Wow.
Based on the Avengers Infinity War trailer footage, fans are pointing out that Stark's new high-tech suit appears to be his bleeding edge armor from the comics, and it's notable that it looks like it's forming around him, which is something T'Challa's new armor, which was of course designed by Shuri, was shown to do in the Black Panther movie. At the end of said movie, Shuri was designated the head of tech research at the Wakandan outreach program in California, so it's very possible that Tony Stark will pay her a visit. Stark loves new technology, so we're sure he'd love to geek out with the Wakandan princess. The dynamic between the pair would be a sight to behold, and even though she's pretty young, she would very likely both bewilder and intrigue Stark in a conversation about technology. The founding Avenger could then either create his bleeding edge armor based on Shuri's genius, work alongside her in creating it, or even have her create it for him. Heck, maybe she'll even take over from him in the role of Iron Man in the future of the MCU.
You look like you got friends in low places.
M'Baku will turn on T'Challa. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, M'Baku was presented as a character who didn't deem T'Challa worthy of the Wakandan throne. However, when he challenged T'Challa in combat, he was defeated and gained more respect for his king. As a result of this newfound respect, he provided T'Challa with aid in the final battle with Killmonger and his forces. Consequently, the leader of the Jabari tribe became something of a fan-favorite character, and with good reason. He looks awesome, he's a tough combatant, and he's pretty damn funny. All that being said, in the comics, M'Baku really isn't a trustworthy individual, so we shouldn't be totally convinced by his redemption. There's every chance that he will turn on T'Challa and become an outright villain in the MCU. There have been entire story arcs devoted to M'Baku's efforts to take over Wakanda. Of course, even if he does become a full-blown bad guy, we still shouldn't expect the MCU version of the character to take on the name Man-Ape, which is controversial in modern times, to say the least.
For within the Palace Royal, its monarch, Prince Namor I, lies ill.
Namor will be the next Black Panther villain. The success and general all-around brilliance of Black Panther has made fans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe incredibly excited about its inevitable sequel. That excitement, which is frankly mostly palpable already, has resulted in there being lots of questions about that second movie, one of which is with regards to who will be the movie's villain. Some fans have theorized that it will be none other than Namor the Submariner, and with good reason. Not only have T'Challa and Namor had some memorable confrontations in the comics, but the fictional home nations of both characters were hinted at the same time on S.H.I.E.L.D.'s hotspot map in Iron Man 2, which could have been foreshadowing a collision between the two in the MCU's future. Seeing Wakanda and Atlantis warring with each other in live action would be absolutely awesome, and Namor's introduction to the franchise would be welcomed with open arms by comic book purists. The Submariner may be known as a hero to most, but he has been depicted as both an anti-hero and a villain in the comics, so it certainly isn't out of the question that he could be introduced as an antagonist to begin with, and he could always revert to the side of good after that anyway.
Demeanor is that of a pouty child.
Wakandan tech will be the key to defeating Thanos. When the events of Avengers Infinity War unfold, the Mad Titan Thanos will pose a threat that none of the existing heroes of the Marvel Cinematic Universe are ready to deal with. The villain will essentially possess the power of God, able to tamper with various aspects of reality as he sees fit. The likes of Iron Man, Captain America, and even the Hulk and Thor simply can't compete with the level of power the Infinity Gauntlet grants its wielder.
It's not possible.
And Earth simply doesn't have the technology to combat such an advanced form of warfare, or at least it doesn't think it does. With Wakanda's secrets set to be revealed to the world, fans are theorizing that the fictional African nation will be instrumental in the MCU's heroes combating and eventually defeating Thanos. There's already loads of awesome technology in Wakanda, and we know there's still a huge reserve of vibranium yet to be mined there. So with the combined efforts of the MCU's geniuses, a load of it could be put to use to take down the purple-chinned menace. And let's not forget, the Soul Stone might still be there, which could prove vital in countering the effects of the other 5 Infinity Stones.
A person can last for 30 minutes before suffering permanent loss of function.
Great.
Wakanda has links to the master of the mystic arts. In the Black Panther movie, it was revealed that part of Killmonger's plan after taking the throne was to use Wakanda's Central Intelligence Service, the group known as the War Dogs, to get weapons into the hands of black communities all over the world. He specifically stated that the cities with War Dogs at the ready were New York, London, and Hong Kong. Anybody with a modicum of familiarity with the Marvel Cinematic Universe would instantly have realized that those 3 cities are where the Sorcerer Supreme's sanctums are located. Although it's unclear why those cities in particular were chosen as key locations by the Master of the Mystic Arts, what is clear is that they are places where sorcerers reside and where magical items are securely stored. With that in mind, this theory suggests that Wakanda has specific links to the sanctums, and when there's a major threat to global security, the fictional African nation will team up with the Masters of the Mystic Arts to stop it. For example, when Thanos comes to Earth in Avengers Infinity War, amongst the various cliques on hand to combat him will be teams of Wakandans mixed with sorcerers. And won't that be an awesome spectacle to witness? And that's the end of our video. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Screen Rant for more great videos like this one.